The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.
We're so thrilled to have back on the show award-winning bluegrass duo. They're incredible artists. They frequent the Opry. In fact, that's where I saw them last time, I think back in January or February. It is Darin and Brooke Aldridge. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Well, thank you so much. Always great to be here.
You know, it seems like I bump into both of you like around town anytime you're here, you know, doing a showcase or doing a show. And now you've got another new album out since 2021's album, Talk of the Town. Yeah. And this album's doing very well. And we've got to talk about a few of the songs on here that came out before April. And so that includes Price I Pay. And once again, I want both of you to talk about this to where, you know, you've got John Jorgenson on here, and so it was very easy to get him in studio to record that, right?
It was a little challenging with his tour schedule, with everything that he's a part of, like you said. But I was fortunate enough to get to go out in 2018 and 19 with the Bluegrass Band with John Jorgenson. So when Brooke was talking about maybe putting this song on the album, Price I Pay, it's like, well, John was in that with the Desert Rose Band and did a great version of that on the electric guitar,
right?
You know, with the delay pedal, and it was just awesome. It's like, we're doing a bluegrass version of it, so let's get John to play it on here, but doing an acoustic version. So he did that, but took a little month or two to get that going, and we said, we need this next week. And he said, well, I'm going to Australia to tour this weekend. I'll make sure and get it done. So he did it in a hotel room in Australia.
I mean, that's pretty amazing that John was able to record his parts, you know, in Brisbane, Australia, and be on this album, and it sounds so natural. And I know he's done the Opry with both of you to perform it also.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
And I've heard that Chris Hillman is also a fan of your version, which, you know, you and I were talking, Brooke, you know, it's a departure. You know, certainly doing it more in bluegrass style and not doing the electrified, like you said, on the delay.
Stripping it down a little bit.
Yeah. And what a great way to do an homage to this, and also to bring a new audience to this song.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you know, if we ever do a cover of anybody's song, I mean, you're venturing into deep waters because you don't want it to be just like what they did.
Right.
So we always try to put our Darin and Brooke stamp on it, and I think we definitely did that with this song. So
I think you did too. And we were talking too before we came in studio. What appeals to me about this album so much, and I'm glad it's coming out on vinyl, thankfully, is that it's, you know, both of you do such an incredible job with bluegrass and with the harmonies and the instrumentation. But really, this is kind of stepping out some. I feel like you've got bluegrass, you have a nod to country music classics, and then also kind of romantic. There's like, you know, autobiographical and love songs in here, which I have to mention, there's a great young couple pictured inside the cover of the CD. Kind of a bit of a departure, wouldn't you say?
it is. It's probably our most colorful album. You know, we've always tried to put, like I said, just our Darin and Brooke stamp on anything that we do. But we wanted to cover a lot of ground in the way that streaming is nowadays, so you can appeal to a lot more audiences that way, and it's not just, you're not just categorized in one genre. So I feel like we really captured that in Talk of the Town.
Well, and I got to bring this up too, because I got to brag on you, because both of you won't. You're also, you know, crossing different charts now, which certainly, you know, all the awards that you've won through bluegrass and everything, but now you have songs on Americana charts, you know, with country music and everything. I've got to bring up the song Jordan. Could you pack any more guests on that song? and also how long that song was on the bluegrass charts?
It was 5 months at #1, and we was thankful. That's the first single we released from the album, and it came out in 2023. Asked our good friend Ricky Skaggs to be on there, and he was a part of Emmylou's version of this song back in the 80s, which Brooke and I both were huge fans of Emmy and Ricky and all those. We kind of grew up listening to that at home, you know. So we decided to record this tune, and was thinking, well, who can we get to sing bass on this? Because Johnny Cash done it with Emmylou and Ricky and Tony Rice. So we thought of our friend Mo Pitney to do that with us, and going in the studio with just the four of us, and Mark Fain that was producing the record to play bass, and just me and Ricky on guitar and the voices. And just within that year, it reached over 1 million streams and 1 million views with the video we did.
I was going to bring that up.
All of a sudden,
it's like a hit on YouTube for both of you.
It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, what a blessing. I mean, you know, but also that was the other thing too, listening to the album in its entirety, which I think everyone should do. I still enjoy hearing the gospel songs, you know, because, you know, Brooke, you and Darin both sing them and perform them with such heartfelt, and usually, you know, when you're on tour, you know, all over the country and everything, you always include those.
Absolutely.
As well. And I mean, it's just Jordan's such a powerful song.
It is, very much so. And the gospel is our foundation. Like, that's where we started singing, was in church. I think a lot of artists
that's where you
probably
met.
say that.
Yep, it
Exactly, yes. We did meet in church, and, you know, so we try to always include that, and we're very grateful for the gifts and talents that God's given us. So that's why we throw that in
Well,
there, too.
I'll tell you what, another gift on this album I would like to bring up is A Million Miles with Vince Gill with a duet with Darin.
It's very special.
And so, Darin, how did that one come together?
Well, been looking up to Vince for a long time since I was early, you know, starting to learn how to play. And got to know him about eight to 10 years ago. Got to go to shows and be backstage and meet him just as yourself, you know, talking about guitars and golf and collections and, you know, different things. And so it's been a great thing. He's been mentoring us for a good while. And I asked him about some songs for the new record, so he sent me 2 or 3. And then sent me this wonderful song, A Million Memories.
Many memories.
A
thank
song for Byron Berline. And I thought he had sent it to me by mistake because I'd heard him sing this on the Opry after Byron had passed.
Right.
And he said, no, man, I'd love for you to do that song. He said, I really would like to get it out, you know, in the bluegrass music. That's where people know Byron is playing. Byron played with Bill Monroe in the early years and was the first fiddler to do Sally Gooden recording.
Right.
And he knew that I had that same type of story that he did with Byron. Vince went out on the road with him right after high school when he was just 18, 19 years old.
Amazing.
And he said, you got the same story. You went out with the classic group, the Country Gentlemen, with Charlie Waller when I was that age. So,
Yes, you did.
you know, it's kind of fitting. And Vince and I being as close as we are and singing, and folks have said for years I kind of look like Vince early on and had that texture to my voice. So we had fun in the studio switching parts, you know, who's singing lead and
You
tenor.
can tell it. I mean,
a lot.
listening to the song, it sounds like you guys are having fun.
We are.
Which you and Brooke always do.
Yes.
But I mean, but it's nice to hear that with you and Vince as well.
For sure.
And doing an incredible song like that.
It was special. We feel honored that he let us sing it. And I told him when we recorded it, I want you to sing a verse on there with us and us sing together, since it's such a big part of his history. You know?
So, you know, it seems like eventually then Vince is going to have to do that on the Opry with you also.
That'd be good
We
sometime.
would be
Kind
honored.
of like John Jorgensen has done
That's
as
Yeah.
well.
right.
Hopefully we can make it happen.
And I got to brag on you as well, Brooke, to where certainly, you know, you've won so many awards, you know, vocal awards and everything, female vocalist. But then last year, you guys won the 2023 Bluegrass Award.
We did, yes, Bluegrass Band, and that was a huge honor because we certainly love what we get to do, and you know, bringing happiness to people through our music is very special. So to be recognized for something that we love doing so much is always an honor. Yeah.
Well, speaking of being recognized, how does it feel when you drive by the mural of Darin and Brooke back home? It's like, well, those people look familiar.
Yeah, never
Absolutely.
forget what you look like.
That's
Just
right.
drive uptown.
We can go sit there and just
Yeah.
stare up at our picture.
I
yeah.
mean, what does that feel like at this point in your career as things are continuing to, you know, be on the rise?
Yeah.
But I mean, you have a mural back in your hometown.
We do.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. With the North Carolina Musicians Music Trail is a part of that mural, so we was honored to be included throughout our home state and our hometown of Cherryville.
Yeah, Scott Nurkin is the muralist there in North Carolina that did it, and he's done many, many murals throughout
Doc
North
and
Carolina.
Merle and Earl Scruggs
Randy
and Don
Travis,
Gibson,
Jimmy
Randy
Wayne.
Travis.
What a
Yeah.
great compliment,
Ronnie
though,
Millsap.
to have him do yours as well.
Absolutely.
it was
so
awesome.
That,
And it looks great.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, sometimes they look like stick figures, but
Sometimes, you know, and no, not, but yeah, sometimes you're like going, who is that on the mural? But when I look at this mural, I can tell, oh, it's obviously Brooke and, you know, Darin
Yeah.
Aldridge on this.
yeah, it was really quite an honor, and we love going up to see it, and folks coming by if we happen to be out there and they want their picture, you know. So
Yeah.
that's really sweet. And there's also a plaque on the wall where you can scan with your phone, and it will take you to our music, which
Oh,
I think is
how
even
great.
more
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. Well, you know, speaking about the Grand Ole Opry too earlier, I always think that's such an opportunity, you know, with you and Darin to where, you know, you're approaching a new audience that possibly hasn't heard some of your songs and your albums and everything like that, and you're introducing them. So another great way to introduce them.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, and as we mentioned too, with this being on vinyl, I've got to ask you, are there going to be more music videos coming out? Because obviously they've been very popular
Oh,
with
yeah.
the singles so
Yes.
far.
We're working on some stuff, and I think this day and time, you kind of need those videos, you know, to kind of even express the song just a little bit more. So yes, we've got some things in the works.
Well, and plus you're going to have some neat merch as well, because somehow you have to support, Darin, being a multi-instrumentalist. He doesn't just buy guitars.
Yep, that's right.
And
He
so-
loves shoes and jackets too.
That's right.
But you already turned
Yeah.
down a new jacket shop that I will be visiting, so.
We've got a new OM coming
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Really?
Mr. Hooper's building this right now, so
Oh,
I
my
can't wait to
goodness.
show you that.
I can't wait to see that. But once again, on the whole album and with the music videos and everything, what always grabs me from both of you are the harmonies. It's just the voices and the sound of the fun and the great band that you have working with you. And you always represent your home, North Carolina, wherever you go, and are so proud of that. And it seems like, particularly with this new album, it's really like a huge step forward, wouldn't both of you say?
It definitely
Yes.
is, and that's what you always hope as an artist, that the next album's going to take you to another place you've not gotten to go yet, or different opportunities, different audiences, and I think this one's definitely doing that already. So.
I really like the pictures also.
Yeah, it's very colorful, isn't it?
Yeah,
And it looks
It's
happy. I mean,
it
does that
does.
not
It
make
looks
you feel
happy.
good?
But also, I love that it's got the mural on the inside, and the picture of you as a younger couple here. It's just, it's going to be better on vinyl, right?
It's talk
Yes,
of the town.
That's
Talk
right.
of the town. And I like it that lyric. It's not just a lot of times you'll have, as you both know, the name of the album will be a name of a song. It's actually inside the song, so you have to listen and pay
That's right.
attention.
You caught it already, didn't you? That's awesome.
But I like that because it's like going a little deeper listening.
Yep.
For
you
sure.
know? But so many incredible songs on here, and I can't wait to see more of the videos. And certainly, as you and I were talking, Darin, the vinyl will be available on your website. And Brooke, as you guys tour
Yeah.
with the merch table and all that stuff. And so big tour plans this year,
Absolutely, yeah.
as always.
Getting busy.
Yes, I know both of you are, but I want to make sure for our viewers, website, social media, everything else, for Darin and Brooke Aldridge, where do they need to go to keep up, buy the vinyl, come see you live?
Yeah, so you can go to darinandbrookealdridge.com to get all of our music, all of our merch. And then we're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, of course, and we do have a TikTok. I'm not as current on that as I should be, but I'm getting there, so.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can actually, with the great videos you have out, just like with Jordan and Price I Pay, just take snippets of those and put them on.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
call it a day. Well, I can't wait to see both of you live. It's also, I can't help myself, Darin, I always look to see which instrument you're playing. And it's like going, now, wait a minute, I haven't seen that one. And so I'm sure you may have, a few around the house and
Just
on,
a few.
on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the road.
Yeah.
It's getting hard to put them somewhere now, so. If that
Got to get
tells
a
you
bigger
anything.
house.
There you go. Or you have one in Nashville, so
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
true. Just a thought. Well, I'll tell you what, however you consume music, whether it be digital, CDs which are available, and vinyl available, incredible album. Don't just listen to one or two of the hit songs. Don't get me wrong. Great hit songs on here with Price I Pay, Jordan, A Million Memories, certainly. Give it a deep listen. Listen to all the songs on here. You're going to enjoy them as much as I do, but also go see them live. Whether they're at the Opry or on the road, you can check them on their website, social media. Darin and Brooke Aldridge, thank you so much for coming back on the
Thank
show.
you so much, Eric.
Congratulations on a great album.
We're excited. Thank you.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.